Hello and welcome back to User Story. This is where I share how I use Confluence and Jira and what tricks I use to make my life easier. Today I want to show you an app that surprised me with how much value that it gives. At first I thought, okay, page view tracking, nothing fancy, but then I realized this app actually does more than I expected. Let's start something small. On any page, I click this little content report icon and instantly I get analytics for that page. I can switch between different chart types. Here it offers line, bar, area chart, and I choose the area chart. And I can also select the graph metrics. I especially like the versions. I can also see how many contributors that it has, how many comments that it has been made to this page over different time period. Here I can also choose time period, and then here I will leave it out. With the versions, you can actually check the frequency of updates. It's a quick way to check if a page is actively maintained or may be outdated. For me as a user, it's handy when I'm searching for a page with similar title to others. I can check the views and then I will know if my team is actually using this page. But the real value for me is at the space level, because it's not just whether a page is interesting enough, it's about understanding the bigger picture, what kind of content in the whole space that people is engaging, and what people actually need, what probably needs to be updated. In the space report, I can see an overview chart. Again, I can pick how I want it to be displayed. Here's the time range. And I can simply zoom in and zoom out to see a shorter or longer period. This is very convenient. And I can group by different time period and choose different type of charts. Here you can see different metrics. I don't want to see how many times it has been deleted, so I just keep the metrics on. And on top of it, can filter by content type, by status, and by users are logged in or not, even by source of views. That flexibility really matters. And then there's the top content list sorted by numbers of views. That shows me straight away which pages in the space are the most popular and most relied on. If you want to understand your employees' interest, this is gold, because it tells you what knowledge is most in demand. On the other hand, if I see important process pages with almost no views, that's a clear signal something is wrong. Maybe it's outdated, maybe it's hard to find, or maybe it just needs to be reviewed. If I want to dig deeper, the content and usage section lets me add almost any field. Here you can see there's attachment views, comments, creator, last editor, page status, owners, restrictions, versions, viewers, the list just goes on. I can make the report as detailed as I need. Here I will choose versions and also add content ID. Owner also is important. So after I configure it, you can see this chart is also immediately changed. I also really like I can check which attachments are most viewed, because here I choose content type, attachment, and I can also add other filters if it's content with edit or without fields. Actually, this is very useful, but I don't need it right now. I just want to check how many times the attachments are already viewed. For me who work in the marketing team, it's super useful to know if a campaign assets are actually being used. And of course, all of these can be exported as a CSV. I can choose exactly what's included, just like what I have showed you in the fields. It's comprehensive, and because of the privacy, sensitive data like usernames isn't exported by default. You can see user IDs, which makes it safe to share with external stakeholders. If you want, you can still include content names or space names, but only if it's appropriate. And of course, you can also exclude sensitive data when exporting. Everything I've shared today is just from a user's perspective. I haven't even touched on what admins can do yet, and they have been more options and ways to configure the reports. I've seen customer reviews that mention how easy it is to meet the data protection requirements with this app, so that's good news for everyone. That's why I like this app. To wrap it up, on the page level, it really helps me to figure out if the content is up to date or relevant. On the space level, it shows me the bigger trends, what type of content is engaging, and what knowledge is most in need, and what should probably be updated. So now grab the app, go find out what's interesting in your space, exclude the sensitive data, and maybe share with us your insights. We love to hear them.